Ian, it was a banner day for Intellivision. They did the first of what's going to be
getting it out of my system.
The first of many deep dive gameplay videos came out and was quickly unlisted within 2 hours, and then privated, and then re-uploaded a second time.
Then deleted again.
Deleted again and re-uploaded for a third time. We'll get into that, though. We'll get into what the hell happened there. So, Battle Tanks was uploaded.
Tank Battle?
Battle Tanks, originally. Battle Tanks was uploaded. This was a game. This is an overhead combat style game. I think it's based upon, there was a triple action pack of Intellivision games that originally had biplanes in a third game. They're splitting out biplanes and battle tanks.
Has anyone ever pointed out that this is like a less consumer friendly Intellivision? We're taking the triple pack games and splitting them out into separate games.
and yes, that is not good for the consumer, but this is an overhead tank game.
Yeah.
Single screen. You shoot tanks, you shoot each other, and you blow up each other like combat. There's obstacles. There are.
I want to see biplanes because it's just going to be this game. But
the biplanes is already. You can. It's yeah. They fly around. You shoot each other on a single screen or whatever it is. Yeah, that's fine.
I'm just saying it's a lot of the same type of gameplay repeating itself already.
So you can watch it again, but originally it was taken down. So let's talk about the game itself first. It is a standard, average-looking game that looks like it was made in the year 2000. I mean, I'm not being facetious. The colors are sort of muted and bland. It has a realistic tank look. There's helicopters that fly in. There's power-ups. There's different game modes. There's leaderboards that don't work probably at this point in time.
Looks like a Newgrounds game.
From what someone told me, from what one source told me, it may not have been worked on since 2019, potentially. That's my source saying that. So, looks like a Newgrounds game.
Yeah, it just looks like a fucking Flash game you can play online.
It looks probably worse than what some mobile tank games probably look like.
It looks worse than the mobile tank games.
Because the problem with this game is that the art style is, there's no art style. It's just like, we'll just get some assets that are out there for tanks and for dirt, and there's a lava stage and ice, and we'll just throw these assets in here.
We'll Photoshop a fucking red or blue hue over the top of it.
And like, there's no graphic style to this game. And that to me is always the kill, like sort of like the strike against a lot of these Intellivision games, is that there's no distinct graphic style.
No cohesion whatsoever.
No cohesion against, but there's no graphic style. It doesn't look like, if you're going to do an Intellivision tank game, this is how I would do it. One of two ways. You do it and you lean into the pixel art, like how the original games were,
but no pixel art.
How Other Ocean was supposedly remaking Night Stalker and doing the Cloudy Mountain. You lean into that look. It looks distinct. It looks yes. It looks like there's an art style.
That was the closest. That was the closest thing we've come. Both Cloudy Mountain and Night Stalker look like they belong in the same universe. Like, yes. It makes sense.
Yes,
that should have been leaned into for that aesthetic should have been leaned into for everything.
So that's the first thing that you do if you're doing. That's the first approach. The second approach is what I think they should have done, because it's supposed to be family friendly for kids. You make them toy tanks. You make it like it's a toy setup.
Yeah.
Right? You make it maybe it's over the top, like here's like plastic pieces. You can tell it's like a kid setting it up.
Yeah.
It has a distinct look and style to it. It's family friendly, more family friendly and non-violent than realistic tanks and helicopters blowing up.
Fucking chubby and wobbly. Make them shoot like pop gun stuff out of the top.
That's what the Wii Play tank game did. It looked more toyish. They were like you said, like pop gun style.
Yeah.
You're not saying you should have ripped off the Wii Play tank game, but there was a style to that though. There was a distinct style there. I think it was like more like wooden and plastic, if I remember from my memory to watch it. So this video starts off with Tommy next to John Alvarado. Poor John has to deal with Tommy. John, when the checks stop cashing, you can talk to me. It doesn't have to be public. I'll be the ear to listen to. I'm sure it's horrible working with Tommy. Anyway, so they show like leaderboards that will be in existence eventually that talk about your favorite weapon. There's going to be things to unlock here, like accomplishments. There's a whole 18 maps. 18 maps is your single player campaign. 18 maps. This is another one of these games that's probably a 20-minute game. Maybe a half hour at most if you're not good.
Remember, it's already been stated by Tommy that there are 10 whole levels in skiing.
There's going to be deathmatch, capture the flag. Again, these are single screen games, just to let you know that. Enemies that spawn you have to deal with. And like I said, it looks like if this was a game part of like a 6 or 10 game package, I wouldn't be as critical as this. This is a game that you're going to have to spend money on. Probably like $10, I'm guessing. They're going to charge you for something like this.
It looks incredibly unexciting. Looks completely devoid of strategy.
The frame rate's off.
The frame rate doesn't stay stable.
It's not 60 frames.
Oh, no, it's 20 to 30.
It's not close to 60.
Yeah. It's just a very unstable frame rate. And the game looks awful. There certainly doesn't look like it should be a standalone game.
It shouldn't be a standalone game. The same way like when they showed off, I think, Pool at one of these recent events. Pool should not be a standalone game. Again, something that's a part of like We Play or Clubhouse games. It's part of your like 1 in 40 package because it's a simple tech demo thing.
Well, and that's what other people have said. They've said that this looks very much like a tech demo. This looks like, these are games that you'd basically submit as like a final project in college.
Yeah.
Or at the end of a programming class.
These are a one-person project. They put this together in like, I'd be shocked if this was more than a month of work.
So the game itself does not look great. I don't think anyone was really expecting it to. I think we all knew what it was going to look like. It looks just like this. It looks unexciting. However, there's far more to it than just the game we have.
Before we get into that, real quick, to make sure that this is not a simple sort of setup, 3 different control schemes. They're allowing 3 different control schemes on your system that's supposed to be pick up and play friendly.
Yeah, including one that looked really awful where you
have to point to shoot on the
aim
pad.
with the touch screen and it does not look good.
No, sorry.
The majority of the assets are stolen in the game.
For the menu items, yes.
For the menu items.
Yes.
The menu screen is stolen from Gaijin Games. I can't remember. Sorry. Gaijin Games is the developer.
World of Tanks?
World of Tanks is a different one.
War Thunder.
War Thunder. War Thunder.
So the intro screen is stolen from a game called War Thunder.
They dimmed it and they copy and pasted an explosion. They literally flipped the same explosion in the opposite direction if you look at them.
They changed the tank a little bit around, but it's the same layout. It's the exact same layout. It's plagiarized.
They also took stuff from World of Tanks, which is that big free to play. It's a huge online tank game. They even stole. These are
like the tanks you select when you go through the selection screens.
This is one of the things where like early on people realized that there was no way they had actually paid to use these assets because the World of Tanks stuff was actually a special movie tie-in
with Fury.
Fury.
The World War II Brad Pitt movie from like 2014.
Yeah, they actually took it and they where it says Fury on the barrel of the gun. I think they like stamped it out. Yeah, they stamped it out poorly. And then they also used a bunch of non-commercial images, stock images.
Yes, they used. It looked like there was a 3D image asset site they went to where it says not for commercial use.
Yeah,
directly on it, and they took images from Google search for museum images, like real tanks that exist, and used that for their tank selector screen, where every tank has different like speed and like power assets.
I'm sure everything will be balanced very, very, very well.
Yeah, they weren't. I looked at the balance real quick, but they weren't.
So they took these, they passed them through Photoshop, they darkened the color on them and gave them all like a red hue or a blue hue, and
this was discovered. This was posted on the Intellivision _Amico Reddit within a couple, I think within an hour or two. I was asleep at the time. I was taking a nap, so it was the video was immediately unlisted.
Yeah, immediately unlisted. They put it back up, took it down, put it back up again.
So the third time they put it up, and it's still up, they changed the name from Battle Tanks
to Tank Battle.
To Tank Battle. I basically did a Photoshop job on the thumbnail. Because you can't make this up. If you search for this on Google and you look at the image and like the image that shows up, or if you're searching it for on your sidebar on YouTube, they didn't even take the time, meaning Tommy probably didn't take the time to take the original video image and then Photoshop that. He took a screenshot of it on YouTube because you can see in the bottom right corner of the thumbnail, you see like, oh, there's a little widget for the settings to watch your video. Yeah. There's the full screen image on the bottom right. This is hack shit that a real company shouldn't be getting away with, let alone re-uploading the same video 3 times, let alone changing the name of your game and then saying, well, final name to be determined within the course of like, 24, 40 hours.
And then maybe we'll have the fans vote on it. Everything could be, yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, everything can be solved with a poll.
So you have a game that had stolen assets, and you had some of the apologists try to say, oh, I was told that those were paid for. No.
Well, that completely fucks it up because Tommy came out the next day and said, as I think most of us knew he was going to.
Did he come out really when it's on Atari Age?
Oh, sure.
But he did.
And said, it's all placeholder graphics. It's all placeholder graphics.
I want to find the quote and read his exact quote. It's ridiculous.
It is. Everything is. If you read, I think if you read the description for the current video that's uploaded, it pretty much says what he said on Atari Age.
Yeah. So going back to it was they stole a World of Tanks, Churchill, Turbo Squid 3D model, a couple of museum images, at least. And then let's where's the Atari Age thing? I need to read the fucking quote. Here's the point though. This was public. He got blasted by Sam Mekovich. We'll talk about what Frank Cifaldi said, our pal. There was no public apology or public, hey, we screwed up, or hey, our dev did something. The bottom line is this is an Intellivision published game that's coming out. They're the one publishing, their names on it. Yeah. They should know better. It's Intellivision Battle Tanks / Tank Battle. It's their game.
Right.
It's their game.
It's their game. They're the ones who are publishing it. It's their main game, and I don't buy for a second the placeholder graphics excuse. This was presented and passed off initially as a complete game.
This is embarrassing.
You can't say placeholder graphics and then continue
on a deep dive video.
Not
say, oh, these are placeholder. You wouldn't do that professionally anyway. You wouldn't steal assets even for
placeholder graphics
and then show them.
You wouldn't
publicly.
show them because you're advertising the game. If anyone was wowed by that, and I don't believe anyone truly was, but if anyone was wowed by it, they were wowed by what you showed them, which was stolen graphics that you're calling placeholder graphics. Yet it's way too cohesive to look like that's even believable. So obviously this was meant to be the passed off final version of the game. But you can't say placeholder graphics and then immediately, well, you can't say placeholder graphics and then continue the lie that it's parts that are keeping the Amico from being in your hands. These games are not fucking done.
And they should have been done October 2020.
If this was going,
this is a launch title.
If they were on the launch pad, if everything was ready to go and it was just the chip shortage, this game should have been finished a year ago.
They showed this video in the August 2019 gameplay video. They showed this,
and it had the exact same graphics, which means this probably has not been worked on since 2019.
Well, someone just put in placeholder graphics, though, and just said this is good enough, just stealing assets willy-nilly. This is what Tommy said on the forum. Again, not a public post. This should have been a public Intellivision, Twitter, and Facebook mea culpa. But they're too proud to admit when they fuck up. They got to spin it. In case anyone may have missed the description of the Amico deep dive video, it reads, this wasn't originally on the original upload. Work in progress. Footage shown does not represent final materials, graphics, and features subject to change. Intellivision continues to provide unprecedented access to the development process of both our hardware and games.
This is just straight up fucking propaganda now.
This is lies.
Just repeat a lie enough and people are going to believe it.
Some people have.
Yes.
With this core belief of openness comes certain challenges. Our game development partners commonly use placeholder graphics as they work towards finalizing all art assets prior to final publishing. Placeholder graphics were identified in the current unpublished version of the Intellivision tank game presented in this video. If this was all fine, Tommy, why did you unlist the video so quickly and then privatize it? If this was normal, if this is how Intellivision functions normally in their game development business, why would you do that? It's lies. Every week, it's lies. This is why we cover this. Some people say, why are you still covering this? Because we have to keep pointing this out because some unfortunate souls will believe this shit and get taken for a ride. the investors already got taken for a huge ride.
Yeah, they did. Holy shit. They're not seeing any money back.
Intellivision is in contact with all parties involving both final assets and placeholder assets as we work with our development partner towards final publishing of this game. Boy, I hope those two game companies come after you. Yeah. I hope World of Tanks sees this and be like, what the fuck are you doing?
I don't think it's going to be worth their time. But
no,
yeah,
they're making so much, but like they at least, they'll have their eyes on you now. They will. That's insane. We are also doing a shorter cut, which we sent out to the mailing list on Monday with some other very cool news. That didn't go out on this past Monday. Nothing went out.
We'd see it. Nothing
went out here. So the tide has turned from what I've seen and heard. Atari Age folks are pretty fed up. Like there's been more and more, less and less out and out cultists and shills. And more
you've got like the 5 loyals.
You have the loyalists, but you have more people probably saying enough is enough. Like this was, even though this should have been the last straw should have been a year and a half ago when they were publicly attacking people or demonizing people like me and Ian and Kevtris.
It should have been the moment Tommy took the fucking stage and was allowed to ramble for an hour about his fucking wet dream
Yeah. No, it's bad. It's not good. So here's some of the responses. Sam read, who did remember he was threatened legally earlier.
Legal incoming.
Legal incoming. Looks like Amico was busted today after lifting all this stuff. And then you had someone trying to say all of this stuff was paid for. I've heard it's like, no, that's not true. Why are you believing people? You are not smart and you are a fool. Just saying that. Can't be nice about it. And then Frank Cifaldi had his commentary about the situation. Frank is probably the other most outspoken critic of this besides us that at least I've seen. He said, this after Sam Mekovich did the tweet, he said, between these stolen assets, the Star Fox placeholder text on Moon Patrol, and the fact that most game footage hasn't changed since E3 2019, I'm going to go ahead and say that Intellivision Amico doesn't have any games ready for a system that was supposedly ready to ship a year ago. This is him continuing, I have never seen a vaporware console scam this blatant in my entire career, and I covered the Phantom and the Gizmondo. Did the Gizmondo come out? Did the Gizmondo came out?
No.
The Phantom definitely didn't come out.
No, definitely not.
Then he went into, did you know about Amico's physical games? Frank. They're not games, they're physical products. They're empty boxes with RFIDs inside that theoretically will one day download a video game that may or may not exist from a company that has only shown janky prototypes so far. You can get all 8 for only $150 right now. Then his last one, he's got a twisted knife into my back a little bit. I think the fake physical games things is kind of brilliant. Selling people empty boxes for games that don't exist. It feels like the inevitable endpoint for people who collect video games they never intend to play. It's a vision of the future, in my opinion.
So apparently that video is back, and every stolen asset has been removed from the video.
They did this is the third or fourth upload.
Fourth, yeah.
There's a fourth. No, come on, there's not a fourth one.
It says it's back, and every stolen asset has been removed from the video. It's on that Reddit. So it's a 16-minute cut of the video, and it looks like
they cut out the intro screen. They cut out
the intro screen selection is still there, but it looks like they cut out all the tank selection stuff, and the intro screen isn't shown like full on. It's just kind of in the background a little bit. So why would you, if it's just placeholder graphics, why would you frantically remove it? Yeah.
They're lying.
Because you're just fucking lying every chance you get.
I'm just tired. I'm tired of people not calling out the lie. I mean, people call it out, but like, it's insane at this point. It's insane. I'm glad people on Atari Age are finally starting to say, this is ridiculous. You've made us look like fools, even allowing this content on our forum. The fact of the matter, though, is that this is obviously, and changing the name is Mickey Mouse. Like, how do you change the name on a game? That's your first. How can you not have the name finalized on your? Like, how? But now
4 uploads for a fucking overhead tank.
But now
game.
We have to now analyze and scrutinize every gameplay video going forward
because we weren't going to.
But Tommy said it himself, Ian. I'm being tongue in cheek that this is common to use placeholder graphics in game development, at least that Intellivision does. So now we got this might be in future games that they show. It might be in biplanes. It might be in the pool game. Maybe they'll use side pocket graphics on the character selection screen, or just I don't know. We shouldn't have to do this. We shouldn't. It's incredible. Is there anything else to add? Did we run out of steam on this?
Yeah, I think we did. I mean, we got a lot in there.
By the way, you can get these tank games. Some are free. There's a Battle Tanks Legend of World War II for free. You can get that. World of Tanks.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure World of Tanks is free to play, even though most people spend some money on it.
There's a game on Switch called Tank Battle Heroes, which I think is like $5. That has personality and looks better than this. So you can play your family-friendly tank games for cheaper. They look better. They're not using, quote, placeholder graphics. They're out there, people. You can play them.